you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Force Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the West, ending with Team 2 in the East, also known as Blue Team versus Red Team. Starting off with Team 1's northernmost player in Amethyst Purple, saying in chat, good luck, have fun. It is Warning Potato PC going first land as a Cybern at 1682 rating. To his south in Regal Blue, it is Orb going first land as a Cybern as well. He is a 2277 rated, the highest ranked player on Team 1 and in the game overall. And to his south in Stitch Blue is Borkmo going first land as a third Cybern here for Team 1. He's a 1532 rated, which means for Team 1 they have no Seraphim, no UEF, and no Aeon for Team 1. For Team 2 or Red Team side of the map, starting with the orange player in the south, it is Scorpio going first land as a Seraphim. He is a 1695 rated. To his north in Chevy Crimson, we have the Cybern commander of Storm Lantern going first land. He is a 2048 rated player, the highest rated player on Team 2. And rounding out Team 2's lineup in the north, in Ruby Red, it is Drummelkos going first land as the Cybern in 1689 rating. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have two Cybern and one Seraphim, which means Team 2 also lacks UEF and Aeon Tech, which means for the game overall, there are no UEF players, there are no Aeon players. Apologies to those loyal to the Princess, and also apologies to those who are loyal to the Old Earth Empire. Of course, Team 1 also lacks Seraphim Tech, which is the only difference between Team 2 and Team 1, being there's one Seraphim on Team 2. And for 6 players on the map, let's take a look at how much reclaim is currently left remaining. There's only 8,000 reclaims, so a little bit over 1,000, about 1,200 or so mass per player. Not a terrible amount of mass, but definitely not as much as we saw in yesterday's video. So it's going to be a little bit of focus on getting for reclaim, but it's mainly going to be on the edges of the map and the middle of the map, being the central pond, having a couple of Salem wrecks as well as a couple of UEF facilities. And for Team 2's side of the map, they have one Trimax position on the beachhead, as well as that's actually it in terms of high concentrated mass points. There's a couple of ones every so often dotted around the map, but realistically, this is the only really high concentrated mass for essentially Team 1 and Team 2, because the map, of course, is mirrored down the middle. So our players are definitely going to want to be focused not only on the mass points themselves, but also, of course, the reclaim in the middle of the map. Considering there's not a lot of mass points and there's also not a lot of reclaim, it's going to take a little bit more to get the ecos going here for both of these teams. But, of course, with ladder matches, eventually it just kind of all boils down to how much can you destroy your opponent and how quickly, which I guess is how every game turns out. But, of course, in ladder, when there's limited players in terms of numbers, there's only so much you can do with so little time. Those look like Team 1's Warning Potato PC has spotted a lab. Looks like it's down here. A light assault bot, or lab for short. Nice little hunter going after T1 Mechs. Killed off the engineer. Will get that kill, but it does get shot down by a Jester T1 light gunship outbound from Orb. He's going for air. At least he has an air facility online. I have kept this at +1 because our players, again, it takes a minute to traverse the map, get some eco going, and so it's a lot of just kind of waiting around for stuff to happen. It does look like it's going to be 1v1 in the north between Potato and Drummelkos. In the middle, it's going to be Storm Lantern versus Orb, and in the south, it's going to be Borgamo versus Scorpy. And question to every single one of you, would you rather have a Potato PC and really fast internet, or a really fast computer and slow internet? I definitely have my preference, which I play more. I mean, there are some multiplayer games I play, but I mainly play single player games, so I'd rather a really strong PC to handle, the newest and, the greatest and latest, the best graphics, all of that, versus having fast internet, just because when I do a decent amount of streaming on, Crunchyroll and Hulu and all that stuff, but I feel like having a potato PC would be worse because you can't really use. I mean, you can use the internet, as much as you want with as fast internet as possible. But there's only so much your computer can handle at one time versus a really, really, really fast computer that can handle a little bit more. But then the internet would obviously kind of bottleneck you a little bit. So it's definitely one of those. There's disadvantages, advantages to both. But I think whether that's true or not with Warning Potato PC, he's just, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of entertaining that he has a potato PC. And I didn't grow up. I went to college in an area that had really bad internet just in general. So we called it the potato internet. It was in Idaho. For those of you who know Idaho potatoes, and they grow a lot of potatoes. So just one of those things where, you just make fun of the fact of, we live in a state that grows a lot of potatoes. They probably have potato internet, which obviously means slow. And that's obviously the reference I'm making. Anyways, my little ramblings of potatoes are out of the way. In the north, it does look like Drumakas is not going to lead his forces. He's just going to hang out for a little bit while he sends his forces in to try to crush Potato. Potato is leading his forces and holding out. It does look like Team 2 is grabbing a little bit more of the map here. It's about probably 55 for Team 2. Team 1, or Blue Team, sitting at about 45%. Gun speed and range has been started for Borg Mo in the south, as well as Scorpion over here as well. It is Seraphim versus Cybran. Seraphim will have a little bit more boost in hit points at 11,500 versus 10,000 even. Forces are building up pretty close to one another, with the Calm of Borgmo going to have a decent advantage because A, he's closer to it. Once his upgrade finishes, he can start working on his veterancy for his commander. And obviously B, he can actually, protect another avenue of attack. There's a little bit of Tham supporting here. There's also a Zooey in the middle to deal with any short of structures that Team 1's players have built. Raiding going down here between some Mantis on the shoreline. We do see a T1 naval facility has been established by Storm. I don't know if Orb is going to get into the water, get his feet wet. He's probably just going to wait to see what his opponent does. It does look like some T1 bombers are on the case to deal with the incursion of forces from Drumakas in the east. They do have a couple of AA guns in the mix as well, which helps deal with the T1 bombers overhead. There's a couple of plateaus here for our players to grab. Not really a lot on those plateaus, but it does look like Team 1's putting a nice little radar system just to get a little bit of vision. This isn't a 20 by 20. It's probably about a 15 just because I can see the maximum edge settings. Usually it's zoomed in about like this, so I can't see the exact, the grayish edges of the map. But it is a decent-sized map for 3v3 ladder, so like I said, that's why one of the reasons I kept it at +1 for a while is because it's just going to take a while to get the other side of the map. T2 Wagner's online here for Storm, trying to deny this. Naval facility has been established by Orb. Frigate also nearby, going to try to blitz that down as well. No such naval facilities are going to be built by Team 1, at least that's Storm Lantern's opinion, which is why he's posted his comm next to his units over here. I think Orb is going for air, which would indicate by the fact he's already at T2 air. He might progress to T3 here pretty shortly, getting some more P-gens, and probably going to head that way here soon. T2 land has been established by everybody on Team 2, and T2 land has been established by everybody else on Team 1, obviously besides Orb because he's focusing on air. So no air players as of yet for Team 2, which could be a deciding factor in who wins the game. Some games are won by air, some games are won by land, some games are won by Navy. Just depends obviously on the map. We do see that Frigate going to be able to at least siege these units on the shoreline. These Mantis could easily just walk, a couple feet over or a couple meters over, depending if you live in the U.S. or outside the U.S. I guess those would be yards versus meters. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Anyway. Mantis also inbound here from, actually there's a couple of Wagners in the mix as well, but mainly just the Mantis force. 10 and a half minutes on the clock. It's going to be a little bit more time before we see a massive T2 army from either of these teams. Gun speed and range has been started for both of the Cybran commanders. The gun upgrade here for Orb progressing quite nicely. Same here with Storm Lantern, but it's only his commander versus a commander who also has some Mantis support and some other engineering support. Love to see that use of technology here for Team 1. Use the engineering suite on board to assist in the upgrade and finish it sooner rather than later. That will definitely assist with dealing with the naval units in the pond here from Storm Lantern. It looks like he's going to send those forward and deal with those here pretty quickly. T2 air, of course, I said is done. T3 is coming online, 50% in climbing. And that's at 0 speed. That is going very quickly here for Orb. He's going to probably try to use air to hit the most maximum potential that he can. Nobody on Team 2 has T2 air as of yet, which is very, very big and could make the difference between a victory or defeat this early in the game. Gun speed and range has been started for Warning Potato PC in the north, and Drumacaz has T2, so more of a defensive play versus an offensive play here for these two players in the north. The speed upgrade is almost done here for Storm, but most of his units have been taken out by Orb's commander. Gun upgrade will fire, focusing on that frigate, and Overcharge immediately kills it off. We do see a couple of Wagners approaching from the north. We'll see if Orb notices those. He is producing some PD on the shoreline to assist. Also going for some torp launchers. It looks like it's going to be Comm v Comm action here. And Orb actually retreating, noticing this is what's going on. Lantern going to be distracted by that engineer, and it's going to be Comm v Comm action here with some Wagners coming in from the north. Orb going to try to actually shift and deal with those. Kills off 2 with 1 overcharge. It is Storm Lantern dropping into the yellow here pretty shortly, and Orb pretty much perfectly fine. Couple of Mantis try to swarm Storm Lantern. Of course, Lantern has the advantage of being next to the water, so if he has to fall into it, he can easily do so. Looks like he's going to hold position for now and dealing with the shoreline forces for Team 1. He also had units coming in from the south, so really just pincer maneuvered Orb and forcing him back. But again, just because he's done all this damage does not mean he can hold the beachhead. T3 air is online, and he's producing some... Is that a gunship? Looks like that's a whaler based on the model. I think the Revenant would be bigger, I think. So yeah, that looks like a T3 gunship coming online here for Team 1's air player. You see again, more forces kind of just building up between these two players. Not really any sort of huge engagements. Storm Lantern is dropping in the yellow, almost into the red. There he goes. He does fall into the red. He does have 1-star veterancy. Orb also has 2-star veterancy. It looks like Team 2 will lose their first player of the game at 13:30 minutes. And that will be a victory here for Team 1. The pressure down the middle will slow, but everything will be transferred over to somebody else on Team 2. Team 2 does have T2 air online in the form of Germacos. I wouldn't be surprised if T3 air becomes a priority for at least one person on Team 2. And at this point in the game, I mean, Ladder isn't necessarily just an assassination game. It could be an annihilation game as well. But it kind of lends itself to being an assassination game just due to the fact that instead of playing a 5v5 or an 8v8 or 6v6 where there's more comms per team, 3v3, once you get down to 2v2, you start thinking, well, if we kill this player off, then there's only one more left, and then we kill them off, and then that's it. So that might start being the idea here for Team 1 if they decide to do so. Team 2, again, has not killed the comm off yet, so you need to, if you're rooting for Team 2 viewers, they need to start at least taking more and more territory or kill off comm. Team 1 has eliminated Team 2's highest rated player of Storm Lantern, so not that that's necessarily the best indicator of who's going to win the game, but it does kind of lend itself to, you know, they've lost essentially their, not MVP, but they've just lost a huge asset is really what it is. Whaler is online dealing with these units on the shoreline here from Scorpy, being originally owned by Storm Lantern. The gunship will take out the rest of these frigates pretty quickly. The AA on board the frigates is not great, but when the gunships don't move very quickly, then it's not terrible. It's just, it's not going to be enough to kill off the Whaler. The Whaler will probably get close to veterancy with this. He does have T2 Navy online, going to produce a nice little, is that a frigate? It looks like a frigate. Yeah, it looks like a frigate. Just for some reason it looks really weird without most of it shaping there. That Whaler is going to come in inbound. There is some T1 AA. It looks like he's going to prioritize that first, kill off the AA emplacements, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And he's going to have to get out of dodge. Team 2's player of Scorpio has been able to shove his way a little bit more forward in the south, forcing off Borgmo. A misclick, says Potato PC. I don't really know what happened. He's in the red, sub 3,300 hit points. Possibly he moved for, Dramakas is like, what? That might be an easy snipe here from Team 2 if he is so inclined. I don't know if PC just accidentally clicked and went east and didn't recognize it, or he was trying to do something else. I don't really know the circumstance, but it's probably he was sitting over here. He finished the gun upgrade. He went for stealth. He's probably going to go for nano now. He probably just walked forward by accident. And as I said, T3 Air is online, and expansionary efforts have at least been started at a minimum. Looks like it's more power more than anything else to obviously meet the demands of the air requirements. T2 Air also been established by the orange player of Scorpy, and now both of the players on Team 2 are going for T3 Air. They notice the threat that Team 1 poses and is going to start to fight back in its environment. We do see Orb going for Torpedo on board that chassis to try to deal with the units remaining in the pond. Very small pond, but definitely interesting to see a lot of focus go down on the central side of the map. Borgmo is starting to be overwhelmed by some T1 units. A couple of T2s in the mix. Ilshi does get overcharged and gets killed off there. A lot of those forces do get destroyed from both of those teams, and more Ilshis are coming in to replenish those. Nice line of PD here, establishing a nice little front line here. For Scorpio doesn't want any sort of land engagements for the time being, which usually indicates to me that he's busy doing something else. So it looks like obviously he's going for T3 Air. That's probably what he's focused on for the time being. Mass assassination has been started by Team 1's by Orb to try to deal with Team 2's, again, dual base of Scorpy. But Team 1, everybody on Team 1 has no mass income above 100. Team 2, Scorpion almost at 200. And then Boring Potato gets over 100 for a second. And Drumaka's at 140. The mass income heavily favoring Team 2. It's not by much overall. It's 285 versus 320. It's about 40 mass income. Looks like possibly power-related issues as well going on. But, you know, that trend definitely starts to hurt as time goes on. Torpedo has been finished, and nano repair has been started. Not gunships, but some cruisers, and now a nice little Salem destroyer is online, peppering the land side of things. Lots of Team 1 Sky Slammers being assailed by that artillery on board that ship. Missiles raining down on one another. It's Zappers v Vipers v Vipers here. Cybran v Cybran warfare. Essentially a civil war going on with a Seraphim instigating it, possibly. That's my little lore for this game, as there's a group of Cybrans having a discourse. Seraphim came in and sided with these two Cybrans and went, okay, now it's civil war. If we fight now, those are fighting words. This gunship proven to be worth its weight in gold and then some. It's killed off almost 13,000 mass. 5-star veterancy. Has done a great job in assassinating Team 2's eco. And it looks like now Team 1 is winning the eco game at 300 versus 260. It's possibly power related. No. So that is actual income. But again, the middle of the map starting to favor Team 2, of course, with the T2 ships, both the destroyers and the cruiser online. Orb needs to get in the water and deal with those immediately, or just deal with them from the shoreline. Both of those strategies will work. He just has to watch out for that artillery. Lots and lots of zappers online. Would love to see some loyalists in here and flip the missiles onto the Vipers, but there are some bricks coming in, and they'll deal with those pretty well quickly. Warning Potato PC has not built Nano on board as commander, so he's still in the yellow. He has stealth online, but with some T3 units outbound, he might start be looking at that upgrade. He's building his own T3, going for trebuchets first. Looks like he's going for bricks now. T3 Air has not been a huge priority here from Team 1's Orb after he built it. He's not really expanding it out. He's more focused on dealing with the Navy in the middle of the map, or forcing his way forward against these units. And of course those units trying to focus down the comm. Air expansions will probably be established right here, and they are being established also here by Team 2's remaining players. Gunship still back here, has still killed off a ton of mass, now up to 17,000, going to kill off another T2 mechs. Really just wreaking havoc on Team 2's side of the map. You don't have any income to spend or build stuff with. You're kind of SOL in this game. You need that mass income desperately. You can see Team 2 dropping to 220, and every single ringed T2 mechs is 9 mass income that Team 2 loses. And tons of mass killed off. 19,000. He might even get close to 25,000. There is a nice little banger coming in to try to assist, but it's trying to catch up to the Whaler. Whaler's, again, dealing a ton of damage per shot. ASF, actually, no, that's a Corsair, excuse me. That might be enough to kill off this gunship, but there is an ASF as well in the form of a Gemini. And looks like he might get that last T2 Mechs. Oh, maybe, maybe not. There's some AA nearby. Oh, it's going to be close. He gets that T2 Mechs. Will he get this other one? Drops to 900 hit points. Is repping at 30 hit points a second. He might get it. He does. He's killed off 22,000 mass, that one gunship. The hero gunship here for Team 1's Orb. And is still killing stuff off. It's still alive, forcing back that Corsair. The regen on board that that Whaler is just enough to stop the Corsair. But the ASF come in and kill him off. 23,000 mass killed from one Whaler. Worth its weight in everything. Only 900 mass remains from the Whaler versus the 23,000 that was killed off. Orb is in the water being bombarded by T2 Tort Bombers, those Cormorants. ASFs are sailing over top to try to deal with those incoming bombers, but of course the destroyers also have torpedoes on board. Wagners are being deployed to deal with the destroyers as well, but Orb might die just to the torpedoes, dropping below 1,300, gets back up. Does have Nano on board, 102 hit points, destroys one of the destroyers, and the other one, Cormorant's still coming in, and there he goes. He is killed off by those torpedo bombers, and that is a huge win by Team 2 Scorpy. And it is now a 2v2 with both teams losing their highest rated players at 22 minutes and almost 22 seconds. Team 1, of course, just lost Orb. Team 2 has lost Storm the Lantern. Team 1 sitting at probably 49% of the map. Team 2 at 51. That number might be changing here pretty shortly. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate all the time and attention you do give to each and every one of my videos. And as a reminder, Team 1 sitting at 380 mass income, Team 2 at 270, so a little bit more than 100 mass income here for Team 1. Obviously, mass is not the only indication of who will win the game or lose it, but it's just a nice little barometer, nice little measurement of see how our players are doing, what they can spend stuff on, how much they have, that sort of thing. We do see that Team 2 Scorpy is in the water in the southeastern corner of the map, just kind of hanging out, not really worrying about a whole lot. There was a couple of wrecks. Looks like they've scooped those up already. Currently still on the map. How much reclaim do players have? They went from, was it 8,000 to 42,000, and that number is going down pretty quickly. Looks like Team 1's Orbs forces that were eventually gifted over to Borgmo are dealing with the T2 Naval headquarters over here. Wagners v. Wagners, the destroyer trying to stave off all the torpedoes, but it's only so much damage. And there are more and more and more and more of them showing up here, and that destroyer is not going to last very long. Another one is being built. I don't think that one's going to last very long. And there it goes. That destroyer will get done and dusted. Cormorant T2 bombers are inbound to deal with those units on the pond floor, lake floor, ocean floor, water floor, sea floor, whatever floor you want to talk about. They're just down at the bottom. They're not floating, and that T2 Naval headquarters is going to look like it not great. It's gonna not look great for Scorpy. But again, if you lose a structure like that and that's consuming mass, you have more mass to spend somewhere else. So there's always a silver lining somewhere. You just got to find it. In the south, though, we do see Scorpy heavily forcing back Borgmo. Of course, Borgmo has gained control of Orb's forces, so he's kind of doing double duty between the middle and the south, which will definitely favor Scorpy considering he was facing down Borgo's full attention, and now he's facing down some of his attention just because, of course, it is split. That T2 Naval headquarters is in the yellow. It might survive. It is dropping below 1,200. Those Wagners don't do a lot of damage individually, but, of course, given enough time, 1,000 of anything will kill anything. And there it goes. It is destroyed, and so the middle of the map is essentially rendered useless for both of those teams. ASFs do fly over top. Team 2's air grid, how's it expanding? Not so much. Not really a lot of focus on expanding air grids here in this game. T3 air, of course, is established by both teams, but there isn't a huge focus on it. land seems to be a little bit more of a focus, especially with a lot of T3 units coming online here. These Otham siege tanks versus the armored assault bots of the bricks. You have a bunch of engineers looking for reclaim to send back to their families, but they're going to get caught in the crossfire, if I can speak correctly. In the middle, we see Firebase still online. It's been here for a while. Team 1 has not been able to crack it yet. I feel like whoever builds the experimental first might be better suited to deal with this or that, depending on someone's perspective. I don't see any experimentals being built by Team 1. Oh, nope, scratch that. There is one being built by Borgmo. Is there a chicken being built by Scorpy? There is not. Lots of Otham production here so far. I don't see anything of the like. Is Drumacast building one? Yes, he is. So the players on the northern edge and the southern edge are each building a monkey, but Team 1's Warning Potato PC is not. Looks like he's focusing more on the T3 land. Now he started a monkey. It's going to go roughly up about the same time that Drumacast is, so it might just be a net 0 for both players. It just depends on where the mass falls. If Team 1 can crack this position, it will open the floodgates to engage. If Team 2 can hold, this might be the hill that Team 1 dies on possibly. But in the south, Team 2's Borgmo forcing back Scorpy. Some of it just due to the fact he wants to keep those units online and regroup. Some of it just because Team 1 has more numbers. And that, of course, does land to Team 1 keeping their lead in the mass game. But Team 2 has caught up quite significantly, dropping the lead from about 100 to 60 mass income. Team 1 still holds control of the water, but I don't think Team 2 is really going to care about investing in it for now. A couple of Cerberus line the middle approach here. But I don't think that Team 2 is really going to be focusing on that. Essentially just, hey, don't go this way, go somewhere else. I'm not going to worry about it. And Team 1 is essentially, as of right now, just obliging them to kind of just, looks like they're just patrolling it right now. Don't want anything walking into the water for no apparent reason or on the water. Transports with some engineers on board get shot down by some roaming ASFs. That's got to hurt. Don't know where Potato was going with those. Probably going to reclaim the middle of the map. That's going to hurt. That is going to hurt. Land facilities could easily be donated over. T3 naval, land headquarters is going to be established by Borgmo over here in the middle. Don't really like the positioning of it because it's very close to the water, but I mean, there's only so much you can do with that sort of thing. You'd have to build a new T2 headquarters and then a T3, and that's a pain and whatnot. But some Ilshis and some Optims try to crash on top of some bricks, and the bricks go, no, we're good. We don't want any. Thank you. Bye. And going to leave a little bit of a reclaim field here for Team 1. Possibly Team 2 to scoop up. I don't see any engineers nearby here for Team 1. So, there's one over there, but it's going to be a minute before they get there. Strap bombers over the top here for Scorpio. Going to try to deal with those bricks in a different manner. And ASF's waiting to be given orders here from Borgmo. Monkey is online in the south. That's going to be sent forward. Maybe Team 2 noticed. Maybe they didn't, but Air Scout did get shot down by it. Monkey is going to be established by Scorpy, and Monkey is done here for Jumokos. Is the Monkey done over here? It's in the yellow. Not having that much assistance comparatively to Team 2's, but Team 2 is not engaging. Again, they're being defensive. They're building a Soothsayer perimeter monitoring station online, or system, I should say, to be able to get a huge amount of vision on the map. Those things are very powerful. Of course, they cost a decent amount of energy to run, but you can see a huge chunk of the map. I think it's very equatable to the sensor package from the Aeon Commander upgrade. I think it's a little bit wider than that. I'd have to do a side-by-side comparison between the two, but I think it's about the same. So, does this do Omni? I don't think it does Omni. I think it's just Vision. Spy planes coming in here from Team 2 Scorpio to get a nice little view on what's going on this side of the map. Almost 30 minutes on the clock. Both teams start to think about how to end the game. Again, it's kind of hard in ladder matches where you don't really have a lot of mass income. You don't really have a lot of players. You don't really have a lot. So it's really about 35, 38 minutes is when players start to think about, oh, should I build an artillery or a nuke or a game ender or whatever the case may be. A little bit more delayed when in 5v5, 6v6s, or 8v8, you're like, well, each player has their own little role. I'm possibly the eco player. Let me try to end the game kind of thing. It's a little bit easier to, split the tasks up if there's more players to split the tasks between. But Strap Bomber getting tons of value going after these bricks. And those bricks are suffering a ton of hit point deficiencies here. Strap Bomber's already killed off 3,200 mass and probably will get about probably 6K unless ASFs come in and kill them off, which might be the case. He might get these 2 bricks. He does, gets up to 5,700 and then gets shot out of the sky. Engineer going to probably be able to scoop that up. But that is almost 6, so I was pretty close with my estimate on how much mass he'd get to kill off. Monkey is online, forcing its way forward. Monkey online here for Team 1. It's just going to crash on top of one another. It's essentially a net 0. Again, the main focus is how close to the front line is both of these wrecks. This monkey makes it essentially here. It's in Team 1's territory. I was pushing the Windows key for a second. Wondered why I wasn't drawing. But if this monkey over here sits right here, it's in Team 2's side. It looks like the monkey is trying to goad Team 1 to engage. All this is going to do is just allow Team 2's monkey to save a little bit of hit point damages by being underneath the shields and forcing the engagement. Team 2's trying to force the engagement. Team 1 isn't going to go for it for now, but I feel like a little bit more enticing from Team 2's Giant Mechs might be enough to pull Potato in. May or may not, just depends on what's going on. Transport with some engineers on board, going after that reclaim again. 1,000 mass for that Strap Bomber, but there's also a decent amount of reclaim here in the mixer from all those bricks, and Otham's Chicken is not on the cards yet here for Team 2's only Seraphim player of Scorpy, but a monkey is online, sitting right there. Otham's continuously falling back, but again, it's leading Team 1's units into essentially a trap with the monkey being here. More PDs being built to again defend the T3 land headquarters of the Seraphim variety for Scorpy. Scorpy still sitting down here, not really worried about anything going on so far with his commander. The monkey is engaging those bricks. Monkey will engage the Othams. PD are now in range. The Otham's going to retask onto the monkey here from Team 1. That monkey is going to not survive. It's going to lose hit points very, very quickly, and the bricks essentially dealt with already. And that is a mass dump here for Team 2 Scorpion. He might actually just make that into a chicken. And another Soothsayer is online. You can see it just got activated. You can see the poles. I like the not the graphic, but the area of effect where it's just kind of like this pulse happening. Almost looks like a dampening field, which is what this is the stealth field generator. But this looks like more of a dampening field. And this is the range, is what they can see. Again, the other ones over here. Just so 2 of them, you can see essentially a third of the map with just 2 of these, which is big. It doesn't give you everything. It doesn't give you Omni. It just gives you, of course, the radar. But you can at least see stuff unless it's cloaked, which most units in the game aren't cloaked or can't get cloaking. But if a Cybern Commander with cloaking with a laser comes in, you need Omni. So something to think about. But again, Soothsayer is very, very powerful in this game. Same with the eyes from the Aeon variety. You can just pick a spot on the map and be like, I want to see what's there. And you can just see what's there. It's not a large ring, but it's enough to be like, oh, how's the enemy artillery or game ender being built, or whatever the case may be. It's just enough to be very, very useful. Looks like a little bit of fighting, but not a whole lot yet. The main engagement has not occurred yet between those 2 northern players in the south. Another monkey's online, kills the monkey here from Team 2. And looks like they've started operations to scoop up the first monkey. Is Team 2 building another experimental? No crab, no monkey, no chicken, no bug, no nothing. Looks like no nothing. And I know that's not necessarily a double negative, but no nothing means not nothing, which is, I guess, a double negative. I guess, possibly. I guess it would be it is nothing, or there is nothing would be a single negative. Anyway. Air expansionary efforts here from Team 1's Borg mode, trying to establish a nice little grab on the air. Team 2 is being very defensive with their air. Lots of spy planes to make sure they know everything that's going on their front line. And air expansion is going on here for Drimakas. Again, he can do that because his front lines, again, he's not trying to expand outward. He's waiting for Team 1 to engage. So Team 1 is building up the land army. Team 2 is building up their back line, with so air grid, all that stuff. I'm kind of surprised to not see a crab out of anybody else on Team 2. Team 1 is building a crab. It's almost half done. And I don't see any other experimentals yet. Nothing on the southern side as well. Monkey is holding position down here around this reclaim field. And it is a decent amount of reclaim, to be fair. Sitting at about 45,000, probably 35,000. Just there, a decent amount of reclaim to grab. So he definitely wants to hold it. He has a couple of facilities over here to the west. They're build-up engineers just to reclaim everything. In the pawn side of things, looks like Team 2 might reinvest. But they have some missile launchers on board. That's going to be very, very useful. And some zappers to protect them. Orb says mega production. Looks like that's going down here for Borkmo. So both of the players on Team 1 going for some sort of long-range crab play. We do see a crab started off here for Scorpion. Must have just missed it, obviously, because the everything going on. You have a shield, you have a stealth field, you have a radar, you have PGen, you have a bunch of hives. Definitely a nice facility. Everything is in one little tightly compacted space. Not the best positioning, not positioning, but best consolidation. But again, one shield protects a bunch of stuff, so there's only so much you can do. Whalers just trying to poke and prod at Team 2's engineering reclaim efforts. We do see more bricks stacking up to defend. More whalers are popping up here for Team 1's air player of Borgmo. He might send them in. I don't see a lot of AA down on the southern side here for Scorpio, so that might be an avenue of attack if Team 1 uses to go at Team 2. But some Corsairs are inbound for Dremicons. Looks like they're either going to go for those bricks or for the monkey. Looks like they're going for the bricks first. Couple of shots do miss, but it's a nice spread of shots. And a couple of engineers are trying to reclaim. Looks like those bricks will be forced back here on the southern side. Still nothing happening here between these two players in the north. Monkey's still hanging out. I think Team 1's Potato PC is waiting for his crab to be constructed. He's about to stand up and take his position on the front line. How's the crab going down here for Team 1? It's not a lot of support on it, but again, it's something. I'm going to push on top soon, says warning Potato PC. I love the coordination here between the teammates saying, hey, I'm going to do this move here pretty shortly just so that you're aware. What that probably means is that he wants, I know what it means. He wants Borgmo to attack or roughly attack at the same time. The Team 2's players can't focus on one side and then the other side. Looks like Scorpion has retreated from his position down southeast. Doesn't want to be spotted. Don't blame him, and has found some more safe or haven in the northeast. Grab has been constructed here for Scorpion. That's going to really derail Team 1's attempts to attack Team 2's front line. There are some bounces around dealing with some air being built by Team 2's Dremocos. Once the crab gets built here and sends forward, he's probably going to send his ASF back. Corsairs, a group of them have been built, but nothing too crazy. Something here, says Orb. Another crab has been started and a RAS gating in. Quantum Gateway has been established. Monkey is going to get ran over by that crab. Lots of T3 assistance, both in some shields, some lightning tanks, and some Othams as well for some firepower. Lots of engineers going to establish a bunch of AA. Gunships on the eastern side going after the mass income here for Team 2, and they're going to pull back. It looks like ASFs are probably going to be called to intercept. They're not going to be able to do that because Team 1's ASFs or gunships are retreating. And the ASFs looks like they're actually going to possibly move in, but I guess not. Crab, how's it going down? It is in the green, but it's the low green, so it's going to take a couple more minutes or so to finish off the crab and then really use it against this. It's going to be a hard nut to crack. Decent amount of T3 shielding. They are 10,000 hit points per shield, so it makes 40,000 in total, plus all the Othams and the AA. The Whalers come in. They're going to need a target. Obviously, the lightning tanks first, and then everything else. And then the ASFs from Team 2 are going to engage, and the ASFs from Team 1 are going to engage. It's going to be this whole back and forth kind of thing. In the north, the attack looks like it's trying to distract Team 2's defenses with some labs moving around. Crab is moving in, though. Artillery is raining down on said crab, but again, 110,000 hit points is nothing too shy about. Those shields are going to start to fall. Monkey is going to die in this engagement. I can probably bet on that. I only take bets that I know I'm going to win, so that's just how I do things. The Crab has now established its dominance over this rate clean field. The engineers are already on station from Scorpio to grab at 39 minutes on the clock, and the attack has commenced. The Crab retreats. Tons of bricks emerge from their defensive positions. Monkey moves in. Crab turns around, deals with the bricks that are inbound. Lots of damage. Looks like they wanted to pull the units a little bit away from that front line. And looks like more permanent monitoring stations are coming online and facilities as well. SMB online. Monkey is defeated, which I kind of knew was going to happen. Monkey from Team 2 does come and engage. Don't see any Loyalists in the mix. Definitely a missed opportunity for both of these Cyber players for some nice little EMPing. Crab focusing on the bricks. It's a Crab focusing on the Monkey, ignoring the bricks, and the rest of those bricks here for Team 1 are going to be destroyed. Unfortunately here for Team 1, the attack does not go exactly the way he wanted, but the Monkey will be defeated at a minimum, so that is a benefit, if not anything else. And in the sound still looks like the Crab is retreating. Some reclaim was grabbed, but they're deciding to retreat and just kind of hightail it out of there with what they got. Crab being surrounded by some bricks in the north. More forces are being built up here from Team 1, but it's going to take a while to replenish what they had. And more forces outpouring here from Team 2. I wouldn't be surprised to see engineers here pretty shortly. Loyalists also in the mix here for Team 2. Maybe there was some, I just didn't notice anything from Giant Mechs because all of the nonsense was over there. Looks like the Crab's also being forced back by the Crab. Sorry, the bricks being forced by the Crab by Team 2. Can't say one thing or the other for some reason. Huge expansion to the air grid here for Giant Mechs. The eco situation, Team 1 1.2k, Team 2 at 1.0. I don't see any other spicier plays here from Team 1 as of yet. I need your help, says with Warning Potato PC. That Crab has been defeated, and the bricks are going to start storming their way forward. This is not going well here for Team 1. They were expecting a nice little, just crushing of Team 2's upper defenses, but now the counterattack going on, and there's artillery and also more units coming in to assist. Second Crab is being built, but it's going to take a while to build that Crab. Gunships coming in to take out the base over here. T2 Naval Headquarters has been rebuilt by Team 2 Scorpion. Gunship coming in, clearing the way to deal with all of the stuff down here. Missile base is being targeted. I don't think they liked some mass assassinations was possibly going down. They definitely did not appreciate that, and so they're going to deal with that now. ASF's inbound here from Scorpio as well to assist, but Team 1 has air dominance, if not air supremacy at this stage in the game. We could see more emphasis on that, but the missile launchers were the main target. T3 Mechs could have been taken out, but it looks like the ASFs and gunships are redirected to assist with Potato PC's defensive measures. Don't see a lot of AA also here for Team 2. Those gunships are going to be fine for the time being. Crab beat Crab warfare in the southeast. One Crab has been defeated by Team 2. One Crab will be defeated by Team 1 here pretty shortly, if he does get the chance. 16,000 hit points remain, and it's 3,000 hit points per dual burst. I don't think that Crab is going to have enough time to kill off that other Crab. No, it's not, but Strapworm is going to come in and assist. Lightning tanks are going to do a great job of dealing with those as well. And Spy Plane is getting a nice readout on what's going on Team 1 side of the map. Whalers coming in to save the day here, but a lot of the base here for Potato has been destroyed. The mass is being shifted over to Scorpion. To Giant Mechs. Wonder what he's building. Crab. I think that's just what's being built by Team 2. Lots of Crabs here for Team 2 and Team 1. I mean, they're 5 as the 6 players are Cybran, so it would make sense that there's a lot of Crabs. But this attack outbound from Team 1 did not go well. ASF's Brent coming in as well here from Team 2's Giant Mechs as well. He's able to produce a decent amount from that air grid, but Team 1 has the higher numbers. They have another experimental coming online. ASF should be guarding those gunships, essentially right on top of them, but looks like he wants to lure those ASFs in from Team 2, which has done a great job of doing that, but it does reduce your attack power in the air to ground, so it's just one of those kind of decisions where is it going to work, is it not going to work? And Whalers being bombarded by an ASF. ASF getting tons of value out of this. Going to take down one of those gunships, but I think that'll be the only one it takes out. You can see the Whalers only have limited range on those missiles that they fire. And they're going after the T2 Naval headquarters. And with this many whalers, it should be enough to deal with that Gemini T3 air superiority fighter. Drop bombers coming and dealing with those mixes as well. And you wouldn't think one gunship would be enough. I'm going to say one ASF would be enough to cause this much annoyance. But, you know, when the missiles don't go very far, it definitely makes a difference. Crab being built by Team 1. Team 2 securing the reclaim from the other crabs that they killed off from Team 1. And Team 2's now just outpouring of units from the north from Giant Mechs is just going to start claiming the northern edge of the map and working their way southward. T3 is being established on Warning Potatoes PC. He's getting his own air grid established as well. This could be fought in one in the air, but so far the ground game is winning for Team 2. 44 minutes, 44 seconds on the clock. Team 1, 1.1k income. Team 2 at 1.2. Scathis has been started by Scorpy. That could be the big play that ends the game here for Team 2. Strap Bomber will be shot down by a decent amount of AA that's been spread about here for both of these players. We have 26 Myrmidons online as well as 16. So a decent amount of coverage on the northern side of things. How is the AA coverage in terms of Seraphim Tech? Looks like those are Flax. And I don't see any. Oh, no, they're right here. And 21 down here. But mainly it's concentrated here. Team 1's avenue of attack for that Scathis would either be... Looks like more being built. Probably, if they could go all the way north and then south, that would do it, but it would give a lot of time for Team 2 to respond. Scorpy's AA also concentrate on the southern side. So, yeah, so essentially you'd have to fly it all the way to the northern edge and all the way south to go after that Scathis. And even then, you'd be flying into some AA coverage. Not a lot, but, I mean, you're essentially trading time for how many units make it there. So if you're more valuable on the time side of things, then you just got to send them straight in. If you're more concerned about the unit side of things rather than the time, you have to send them north and south. But this is the main concern here for Team 1 collectively, is this attack in the north. Team 2, Scorpion not really posing that much of the threat. Again, mainly just holding position. Potato PC saying we lost this. I wouldn't say just yet. There is a time to come back. Obviously, if that Scathis finishes, that will be a concrete nail in the coffin kind of thing. But Team 1 can still come back from this. They need to just find a way to outperform Team 1, probably in the air, and defend on land as best they can. Team 2 isn't prioritizing air as much as Team 1 is, and that could be the way that Team 1 comes back. But with a crab storming down Team 1's gates in the north and multiple crabs being built for defense in the east, it is not going to be a good day for Team 1. Team 2 essentially is in the driver's seat. They don't have to worry about being the ones to attack. They could sit back, relax, build the Scathis, call it a day. But Giant Mechs is continuing to pressure, just keep Team 1 on their toes. Whalers sitting there being attacked by crabs isn't the best use of their talents, but there's so much to manage for Team 1. Obviously, something's going to slip through the cracks at a minimum. I think at this point I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, just because there's really not a whole lot, except for what's going to go down here in the south. It is Cybran warfare here. There's a chicken in the distance, but there is I'm getting Revolutionary War, Civil War vibes here. There's shots going back and forth. That's one way to keep your units online, is obviously repair them on the front lines. Very interesting. You can see that being deployed here with all those engineers trying to assist the crabs, which, I mean, might be what keeps Team 1's crabs online, but one crab is already dead. Team 2 does have 2 crabs that are in the red, though, and ASFs get just annihilated by those lightning tanks, but the second crab here for Team 1 does fall into the low yellows. This crab does get killed off here by Team 1. So again, it's now 3v1 with a chicken coming in to assist. Is there another? Oh my goodness, the crab construction is nuts. It is nuts. Looks like the bricks targeting those sniper bots, trying to deal with the high damage, long range, low hit points for those units. The third crab will die. But with the inclusion of the chicken, it might be enough for Team 2 to hold. 5 crabs have been defeated in total. And in the north, Monkey Lord trying to stave off Team 2's just advanced southward, but so far nothing really has kept them from progressing. Scathis almost in the green, and Crab almost in the green as well. So lots of expansions. Warning Potato PC, Control K, seeing the end is nigh, making this a 2v1 in favor of Team 2. Ion Storm activates, which means the chicken has been defeated. The crab here for Team 1 still alive, and it's sitting at about 50,000. This one, 60,000. That's at 2-star veterancy, so that'll help. And we have some Corsairs inbound. AA being spammed up to defend those frontline forces, and ASF will have, I think, the first and last fight of the game. Oh, not the greatest turns here for Team 1's last remaining player. Oh, trying to pull them away from the AA grid, but it's not going to do much. Unfortunately, the crab does fall for Team 1. GG, says Borgmo. And that might be a call that, yep, there it is. Team 1's player, Evac, says, I'm done. See ya, bye. And that is the game. Team 2 wins the game at 49 minutes. And I think Team 2's MVP, as much as I might want to give it to Scorpy, I think I'm going to give it to Drimacast just because this whole push, he held position. He waited for Team 1 to attack. They did. He pushed back, and he kept pushing, forced Team 1's player to, fall back continuously. Control K. Borgmo's like, I can't handle this. There's too much going on. We're losing the north. We have this eastern side to worry about as well. I feel like that whole play on the north is really what brought Team 2 the victory. Obviously, Scorpio did a very good job holding position. Team 1 pushed forward. Team 2 pushed back. Team 1 pushed forward. Team 2. It was very much a back and forth in the south, but in the north, Drimacas held the line, didn't move, didn't flinch. Team 1 assaulted, and then that was essentially the downfall of Team 1 in the north, and then eventually the game. But let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. Of course, if you haven't done so already, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see each and every single one of you, hopefully, in the next one.